Hi, hello, it's Nikki, and welcome to my messy bookshelf. So today we're here for the quarter and chapters tag. So I was sitting here kind of going over this past quarter in my reading, and I wanted to focus on things other than the numbers. So I wrote down some questions for myself, and I decided to turn it into a tag. So here we are. So I broke it down into chapters. Chapter 1, the beginning. What were some of your reading goals going into the quarter? My goals were to not focus on the numbers so much. My goals were to be gentler and kinder with myself. I still wanted to read nonfiction, trying for 12 throughout the year, averaging like one a month. I still wanted to read the classics, and I just wanted to do that without stressing myself out. I also wanted to do better in my reading journal. And I somewhat succeeded in that, but I did not do the best job. So as you can see, I have some blank spaces on some of my most recent books. However, I do have a lot of entries for some other books this quarter. So I think that I have done better at keeping a reading journal, but I could do better. Another goal that I had was to read books that have been gifted to me, because I hate leaving them on the shelf because I feel guilty while, people are thinking of you and giving you a gift. So I wanted to read more books that were gifted to me. What was the first thing that you read is my next question. And the first thing that I read was Station 11. And I am really glad that I finally got around to reading that. Chapter 2, the plot twist. Did you have any unexpected 5-star reads? Now, I am fairly liberal with my 5 stars. If I love a book, it's going to get 4 or 5 stars, but 5 stars is usually reserved for books that just wowed me. And I did have one that was very unexpected, and that is The Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. I tend to get really discouraged and disappointed when I read fantasy because I am always looking for that next epic thing that satisfies me the way I felt when I read Tolkien for the first time. So, not saying it never happens, but this made me feel like I did when I read Tolkien for the first time. So, very unexpected for myself. Next question. Did you try anything new? This could be anything, really. Did you try a new format, a genre, buddy reading, events, and journaling? So, for myself, I created my first tag this quarter. That was something new. I've always been shy about creating tags, and now here I am with 2 tags in a matter of 2 months. I also co-hosted my first event for Audio Miles, and I also did my first collab video for Middle Grade March for the Booktuber recommendations video. So a lot of fun things happened in this past quarter. Chapter 3, the conflict. What was your biggest disappointment? Did you DNF any books? I had one major disappointment, and yes, I did DNF it. It was my only DNF of the quarter, and that is Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. This book was just too nasty and weird for me, and not weird in a good way, the way some books are just, some books are quirky and weird, but it still works. This one, I just couldn't. I just didn't like it. And I guess I could take the bookmark out now. So yeah, Oryx and Crake. I loved The Handmaid's Tale and what was the other one? The Testaments. I loved those books. And I thought that I would like this one because I was in a little dystopian kick for a while, and no, it didn't work out for me. All right, next question. Was there anything that made reading harder this quarter? And time, mood, life? So for the month of March, I was very busy. We have a lot of events in our family, and just Like my booktube anniversary is also in March, but lots of things going on in March. So I was kind of busy in March, but I still managed to get reading done. But I think overall for the entire quarter, I've actually had an easier time with reading because I have had more time to myself. I did just retire from the service December 1st. So the last quarter, third and fourth quarter of last year, I was busy working on that and my ceremony and all that. But now it's just school, and I actually have this semester off. So I actually have more time for reading, and it is glorious. I have more time for myself than I have had in like 25 years. So loving that. Next question is there a genre that you're kind of a little bit over right now? So are you sick of any genre? And for me, I'm not sick of any genre because I'll just stop reading it. I am a mood reader. But I will say that I was a little tired of middle grade towards the end of March. I did read, I think, 3 or 4 middle grade books for middle grade March, and I kind of got a little tired. I think it was the content in 2 of the books that I read because, yeah, it was very difficult. It was a very difficult topic for a middle grade. But no, I wouldn't say I'm tired. I love middle grade, so. Chapter 4, The Resolution. Is there any book that stuck with you emotionally? Ironically, the same topic. Same topic. The Diary of Anne Frank and The Nightingale. I read these back to back and I was emotionally gutted for a while. And ironically, the book I just said I was a little over middle grade towards the end because the same subject matter was in 2 of the middle grade books that I read during the month. So yeah, it's very difficult hearing about World War II and the people that suffered in the concentration camps. So that was a bit rough for me, and I read so much about it this year that it has stuck with me. What was the last book that you read? And actually, the next question after that is, what was your favorite book of the quarter? And for me, it is the same book. And it is The Count of Monte Cristo. Possibly now my all-time favorite book. I finished this on March 31st. That was not on purpose, but I did finish my mammoth for the month of March on March 31st, and it was my favorite book that I read all quarter, and possibly for the last several years. I adored this book, and I just adored this book. Okay, moving on. We'll move on to the epilogue. Moving forward, do you have any new goals? Are you leaving any goals behind? I don't know that I'm necessarily going to leave anything behind. I know I said I wanted to curate my nonfiction with my fiction that I read for the year, and I still want to do that. But something that I tried out this week and I am actually really loving is having a big stack of books that I'm reading all at the same time. But they are so vastly different from one another that I am having an absolute blast because I'm popping from one world and one type of book to another, and it's been really fun. And none of them are alike enough that I am getting fatigued whatsoever. So I think I would like to continue doing that, having a bigger stack of books that I am reading at one time, but making sure that they're sufficiently different from one another. So I think that is something I want to take into this upcoming quarter because I already started the quarter like that. So that is it. And I did turn this into a tag video. I will tag some friends below, but no pressure to do this tag. I just wanted to reflect on this past quarter that just finished and not focus on numbers. I know some people enjoy talking about the numbers, but for me, I think I'll wait till the end of the year to do that. But yes, no pressure to do the tag. If you are interested in doing this tag and you would like to reflect on this past quarter of reading for you, you consider yourself tagged. And yeah, I will tag some friends below. But I thank you so much if you made it to the end of this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Take care.